Section 12.5 today, stock dividends. The objective is to compute the annual dividends and then the annual yield of a stock investment. The first essential question says, do you have to sell stock to make money from it?
No.
Okay, and that is those companies that actually choose to do dividends, right? Sometimes when you own, when you're part owner of the company and they've had a good year, they will send dividends to all their stockholders. And they'll, I don't know how the price gets picked, but $6.23 per share or whatever it happens to be. So, I mean, when you're looking at it, you're not going to be extremely rich from dividends unless you have a lot of stock, but at least you'll get something that was unexpected. Yep.
Says I'm missing.
Yep, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about it later. Since we're recording right now. Dividends, the money you earn as a shareholder of the company. You may receive a check from the corporation, but sometimes you will not. It really depends on the company if you get dividends sent out to you or not. The annual yield is your annual proceeds for holding a stock. It is expressed as a percent. The higher the percentage, the higher the yield, which makes sense because if your percent is higher, the actual amount that you've made must be higher as well. All right, so there's a couple of formulas. We'll go through those when we do example 1. Susanna owns 100 shares of Wagoneer Incorporated stock. The stock ranged from a low of $37.26 to a high of $52.86 last year. Some of the problems only have one number in them. So some of them don't do the low and then the high separately. They'll just say the stock was this price. So it kind of depends on how they word it to how you complete it. The annual dividend is $1.10. What's the total annual dividend? This is per share, even though they don't say that. So it's $1.10 times 100 shares, which would be $110. So at the end of the year, this person is going to get a check for $110. That's what that dividends mean. What's the annual yield based on the high and the low? The formula, if we look back at that, says the annual dividend per share, which is super small numbers, divided by the cost per share. So on this one, the dividend is $1.10. We're going to divide it by the low, since that's the one we're working on, $37.26. So when you divide these, you're going to get a super small number. Since we want it to be in percentage form, we're going to multiply it by 100. So grab your calculators quickly. Try $1.10 divided by 37.26. Here's the number that I'm looking at, just so you kind of know what it looks like if you don't have your calculator out yet. Okay, so you get a super small number. You can either move it 2 places to the right or multiply by 100. And you get 2.95%. Also, make sure you're looking at the number that follows it. We're going to go to 2 places, and the 2 is not big enough to change it. So the low is 2.95%. Okay, we'll do the same thing for the high. $1.10, same number on the top, different number on the bottom. $52.86. And then multiply by 100. It looks like it's 2.080. I'll put the times 100 there. So the annual yield based on the high is 2.08. The annual yield based on the low is 2.95. You don't have to say which one is better. You don't have to really do anything with that. Just know that on some of these, and I'm going to tell you which one. Look at, for instance, number 3. This one says determine the annual yield to the nearest hundredth. Well, it doesn't say that you have to do dividends on that one, so you don't have to. You're only going to do the percentage part. And do they give you 2 numbers, the low and the high on that one? No, so you just do it one time. So you're looking at $1.48 divided by $15.53. Move it 2 places, so you're going to multiply by 100, and then round to 2 places. So that's pretty much it. We are not going to do all of these. We are also not going to do example 2 this time. So we're going to do 1, 1, and then 3 through 9. So you should be able to get this done and hand it in today.